guys. So if you haven't seen my last video, then you probably don't know. I've lost my voice. Well, not completely. But I have almost entirely lost my voice, so that's why it sounds a little bit funny. But I'm going to keep going because I know it's just the enemy's plan to try and stop me from speaking. Just trying to grab a drink. But I said in one of my videos, if I lose my voice, don't be surprised if you see me on here with a whiteboard. Because I'm going to get this word out one way or another. But I wanted to tell you about this dream that I had, because I didn't say this in my last video. I wanted to make this two separate things, because my last one, I figured it was really important to get out, but I think this is important for moms. I had this dream about a month ago, and it's going to sound really weird, because it was really weird to me too. I had this dream I was on a roller coaster, and I'm like looking around me, and I look to my left side, and there's these birds, and they're flying off the roller coaster. And I look in front of me, and there's these baby birds, but they're almost like human form. It's like a human bird hybrid kind of thing. I don't really know how to explain it. But when I looked at these birds, I realized something. These birds couldn't fly. They didn't know how to fly. And so I put my arms around them, and I'm covering them, and I'm terrified. And I'm trying to make sure that they don't fall off this roller coaster. And we start going down the roller coaster, and as we're going down, I'm holding on to them tightly because I don't want to let go. Because I know if I let go, they're going to fall off this roller coaster. And they're depending on me. And I woke up and I was like, that's a really weird dream. And I kind of didn't think anything of it for a minute, and then it's like, Lord, if that means something, let me know. And the Lord revealed to me the meaning behind this dream. And I think this is going to bless a lot of mothers today that are taking biblical motherhood seriously. The Lord revealed to me that this roller coaster I was on is life. And the ups and downs of the roller coaster represent the ups and downs of life. One minute you're having a great time, you're on vacation, you're happy with your kids, and the next minute you have snotty noses and the kids are sick and in your face, and you're not feeling good before you know it. Everybody's running a fever. It's just the ups and downs of life. It happens. Things like that. And I realized that these two baby birds that I seen in my dream, because I have two children. I have a little boy and a little girl, and it was like I knew this was a little boy and a little girl bird, and I realized that it was my kids in the dream. And the Lord was showing me that I have to shepherd my kids. I have to be a good steward of what I have. And there's such an attack on motherhood right now. Don't you know that that is what the enemy wants? He hates women. He hates women, and he hates children, and he hates biblical motherhood because you're raising them up in the way that they should go. So of course he's going to attack it. Take another sip of my drink because I'm struggling here. I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm going to get this out because it's important. But maybe somebody out there, you feel like what you're doing as a mother is just unimportant. It doesn't feel like you're doing all that much. And you have these people around you saying, well, since you don't have a job, you're not accomplishing anything. Since you're not the CEO of a business, you're not doing much. But the Lord sent me here to let you know that what you're doing is greater than being the CEO. somebody is depending on you. Their life depends on you. See, when you're a CEO, people are just a number. They come and they go. They replace people, but you can't just replace your kids. And you get to decide what kind of mom you're going to be. You're their first role model. So you get to decide whether you want to be a good role model or a bad role model. I hope you choose good. And if you do something bad, you do something wrong, you go to your kids and you tell your kids, I'm sorry for what I've done. Not I'm sorry for what I've done because you did this. No. We teach them what repentance is, because if we can't repent, how can we teach our kids that? We have to show them firsthand that people make mistakes. And it's okay to admit your mistakes because we're human. But love your children, hug your children today, because what you're doing is so great. And the roller coaster of life, you're shielding your children from this life and everything that it's bringing on. The Lord has put you in this path to protect your children, to be a good steward of what you have. And it's the best job you could ever have. I know the world wants to make you think that it's a meaningless job, but I gotta tell you something. Most people wouldn't tell you, they'd never admit it, but they can't afford you. They can't afford you. If they were to sit out and write out all the jobs you do, they wouldn't be able to pay for it. Because a mother is so much more than just a mom. A mom is a nurse. She's a cook. She's the cleaning lady. She's the taxi driver. There's probably so much more. I could go on and on and on. They couldn't afford you. So don't feel bad if you're a mom, because you're not just a mom. And if you're doing it the right way, if you're doing it the biblical way, of course the enemy's going to attack you, and he's going to make you think you're not doing anything great, because that's what he wants. He doesn't want you to know the power you have. And look, I think time is short. I don't think we're going to be here much longer. But if I'm wrong, if we're here for another generation, you're raising up the next generation. People seem to overlook kids, and they think they're not that important. But I got to tell you something. They're very important, and they're precious to God. He says that all throughout his word. We see Jesus rebuking the disciples because they told the kids not to go to Jesus, and he said, don't do that. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but he told them, let the little children come to me, because it's precious to him. The children are precious, and the thing about a child is so innocent and pure. Their worship of God is just innocent. It's so pure. It's like the purest form of worship that you can get, and that's why the Lord tells us to be like little children and enter into the kingdom of heaven. We gotta stop overlooking kids and think that they're meaningless and unimportant. A lot of people like to tell you that a child is blocking your blessing. The child is the blessing. Do you know how many people would love to be in your shoes right now? They can't have kids. For whatever the reason may be, they can't have kids. They desire to be in your shoes, so don't feel like it's meaningless or unimportant. You have the best job of all. It's the best job you could ever ask for. And the Lord trusted you with those children. So be of good courage, and today, go hug your children. Go tell them you love them, because they need to hear it, and that's something that they will remember for the rest of their lives. They're not going to remember if this house is not the cleanest, or they're not going to remember if mom put on makeup today, or what weight was mom at today? No, they're not going to think of those things. They're going to think, am I loved? Am I loved? Does my mom play with me? They're going to cherish the memories. I'm stuck at a train right now. The turnaround. They're going to cherish those memories. All those things that you think that they're going to care about, they're probably not going to care about. My mom will ask me all the time. She'll say, do you remember such and such in this house? And do you remember the couch in that house? And I'll say, no, I don't. She'll be like, I don't know how you can't remember that. Well, that's how most children are. But you know what I do remember? I do remember there was a time that the power went out in our house. And there was a hurricane. Or not a hurricane, sorry, there was like a tornado or something that came through, had storm, and all the power went out in the neighborhood, and the power came back on in everybody else's house but ours, and it was in the middle of summer, the dead of summer, and all of my friends came to my house, and they wanted to play cards with my mom and dad. And I was begging them to go to their house because it was so hot. I was like, can we please go somewhere with AC? But no, they all wanted to hang out with my parents. Those are the kind of moments that your children are going to remember. And I'm not saying you have to invite all the kids over and play cards. I'm just saying the things that children remember is love. They remember how you love them, how you cared for them, how you apologize when you're wrong, how you comfort them when they're sick, how you just squeeze them tightly. This morning my kids were in my bed and I'm just like loving on them, and my son was in my bed and we're talking about the summertime, and I told him for Easter, I said, do you want some pool stuff? Because usually the Easter baskets are so expensive, you might as well just go ahead and get pool stuff. So that's what we do. And he was like, I want to get in the pool and I want you to buy a bunch of popsicles, Mama. We were just sitting there talking, and I was enjoying my time with my kids. And I thought to myself for a split second, how precious is this moment? And my son was taking pictures on my phone of himself, and just making me laugh. And those are the moments to live for, because that's the stuff that you remember. Nobody's gonna remember the CEO when they leave. If they left today, most people wouldn't even remember them. They'd replace them tomorrow. But a mother is irreplaceable. That's all I gotta say today, guys. And I hope that I encourage somebody, if you've been feeling down on yourself and you just feel like you're not doing enough, you have the most precious job. I love you guys. I hope you have a really good Saturday.